Jake Morrison walked into the huge meeting room. His shoes made soft sounds on the metal floor. The room was bigger than a football field. Hundreds of strange creatures sat in rows, all looking down at him. Some of the aliens had blue skin. Others had 4 arms. A few looked like giant insects with shiny bodies. Their eyes followed Jake as he moved to the center of the room. None of them looked friendly. Jake wore his best suit. It was dark blue with a small Earth flag on his chest. Behind him walked 2 other humans. Lisa Brooks was a ship captain. She had short brown hair and steady eyes. Ryan Carter was a soldier. His uniform had many medals on it. The aliens started to laugh. It was not a nice laugh. It was the kind of laugh bullies make when they see someone weak. "Look at them," said one alien. It had a voice like breaking glass. "They walk on 2 legs like babies. Their skin is so soft. How did they even get here?" Another alien stood up. This one was very tall with long arms. "I heard they still use metal bullets in their guns." "Metal bullets. We stopped using those 1,000 years ago." More laughter filled the room. Jake felt his face get warm, but he did not show it. He had been in tough meetings before. This was just another day at work. The leader of the meeting was called Chairman Vex. He looked like a giant lizard with 3 eyes. He hit his desk with a big hammer to make noise. "Quiet," Chairman Vex said. "The humans want to join our military group. They say they can help us fight our enemies." He looked at Jake. "Tell us, human, what can your weak race do for us?" Jake stepped forward. "We may be new to space, but we have learned much about fighting. Earth has taught us many lessons." The aliens laughed again. A creature with tentacles for arms waved them in the air. "Fighting? You mean the small wars on your tiny planet? We have been fighting across the galaxy for millions of years. Your whole planet could fit in one of our smaller ships." "Your weapons are toys," said another alien. "We have seen your ships. They are slow and weak. Your guns shoot little pieces of metal. Our weapons use pure energy. We can destroy stars if we want to." Lisa Brooks stepped next to Jake. She spoke in a calm voice. "We understand you have powerful weapons, but there is more to fighting than just big guns." The aliens laughed so hard that some fell off their chairs. "More to fighting? What else is there?" "You point your weapon at the enemy and shoot. Simple." "Ryan." Carter moved forward. His face was like stone. "On Earth, we have a saying. It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog. What is a dog?" asked an alien with purple skin. "It does not matter," said Chairman Vex. "Humans, you are too small and weak to help us. Your ships are made of simple metal. Your weapons are primitive. You have no place in our alliance." Jake looked around the room. Every alien face showed the same thing. They thought humans were weak. They thought humans were stupid. They thought humans were not worth their time. "We respect your decision," Jake said, "but we hope you will give us a chance to prove ourselves." "Prove yourselves?" Chairman Vex laughed. "How could you prove anything? You have been in space for less than 100 years. We have been here for millions of years. You are like children playing with toys." An alien that looked like a giant, Spider, spoke up. "I studied your history. You fight each other all the time. You cannot even make peace on your own planet. How can you help us fight real enemies?" "Your biggest war killed only a few million of your people," said another alien. "We lose more than that in a single battle. Your wars are nothing to us." Jake felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept it hidden. These aliens did not understand humans at all. They saw only what they wanted to see. "We thank you for your time," Jake said. "If you change your mind, Earth will be ready to help." As the humans turned to leave, the aliens started talking among themselves. They did not try to be quiet. Did you see how small they are? I heard they only live for about 100 years. How can they learn anything in such a short time? Their ships do not even have shields. One shot from our weapons would destroy them. They probably came here by accident. They do not belong with real spacefaring races. Jake, Lisa, and Ryan walked out of the meeting room. The long hallway was empty. Their footsteps echoed off the walls. That went well, Lisa said. Her voice was dry. They have no idea what they just did, Ryan said. His voice was quiet and dangerous. Jake pressed a button on his wrist. A small device made a soft beep. Admiral Hayes, this is Jake. The meeting is over. A woman's voice came from the device. How did it go? About as expected. They think we are weak and stupid. Good. That makes our job easier. Jake looked out a window as they walked. 3 human ships floated in space near the alien station. It looked small and simple compared to the alien ships. But Jake knew the truth about those ships. He knew what they could really do. Karen, are our other ships ready? All ships are in position and waiting for orders. The Phantom is already invisible. The Wolverine has its drones powered up. The Reaper is running silent. Perfect. Continue to wait. Let them think we only have 3 small ships. The aliens did not know that humans had been preparing for this day for a long time. They did not know that Earth had been building warships in secret. They did not know that human weapons were designed by people who had been fighting wars for thousands of years. Most importantly, they did not know that humans never gave up. When someone said humans were too weak to fight, humans got stronger. When someone said humans were too stupid to win, humans got smarter. The aliens would learn. But by then, it would be too late for them to laugh. 3 days later, Jake got a message from Chairman Vex. The aliens wanted to test human fighting skills. They said it would be a simple test in space. We will send 6 of our patrol ships, the message said. You can bring your 3 human ships. We will watch and see how you fight. Do not worry. We will not let you get hurt too badly. Jake showed the message to Lisa and Ryan. They were sitting in a small room on the space station. 6 against 3, Lisa said. They really think we are weak. This is perfect, Ryan said. We can show them what humans can really do. Jake pressed his communication device. Admiral Hayes, we have been challenged to a fight. 6 alien ships against our 3 ships. Karen Hayes was the leader of the human space fleet. She was tough and smart. She had been planning for this moment for years. Only 6 ships? Karen asked. That seems unfair. Unfair for who? Jake asked. For them, Karen said with a laugh. When do we start? The test would happen in a place called the Kepler system. It was full of floating rocks in space. The aliens thought it would be a good place to watch humans lose. Captain Tony Blake commanded the human ship called Wolverine. He was a calm man who never got scared. His ship was full of small fighting drones that could think for themselves. Beth, are our little friends ready? Tony asked his second officer. Beth Rodriguez checked her computer screen. All drones are powered up and ready to go. They have been learning about alien ship designs all week. The 3rd human ship was called Phantom. It was commanded by Admiral Karen Hayes herself. This ship had a special trick. It could become invisible. Alex, test the cloak system, Karen said to her officer. Alex Stone pressed some buttons. The ship disappeared from all sensors. Even the humans could not see it unless they looked out the windows. Cloak is working perfectly, Alex said. We are like a ghost in space. The biggest human ship was called Reaper. It was commanded by Captain Sam Wilson. This ship looked normal on the outside, but it was full of surprises. How are our special weapons? Sam asked his weapons officer. All rail guns are charged and ready, the officer said. The tungsten rods are loaded. The nuclear missiles are armed. The alien ships arrived first. They were long and shiny. They had bright blue energy weapons and glowing shields. The aliens were very proud of their ships. "Look at those primitive human vessels," said the alien captain. "They are made of simple metal. Our energy weapons will cut through them like paper." Admiral Krektor was the leader of the alien fleet. He had fought in many battles. He was sure this would be easy. "Humans," Krektor said over the radio, "are you ready to begin? We will try not to destroy you too quickly." "We are ready," Jake said from the human flagship. The alien ships moved into a line. This was how they always fought. They would fly forward and shoot their energy weapons. It had worked for them for thousands of years. The human ships spread out. They did not form a line. Instead, they moved in different directions. "What are they doing?" asked an alien officer. "Why are they not fighting in formation?" "It does not matter," Krektor said. "Begin the attack." The alien ships fired their energy weapons. Bright blue beams shot toward the human ships. But something strange happened. The human ships were not where they were supposed to be. The Phantom had completely disappeared. The alien sensors could not find it anywhere. Where did it go? "Krektor!" shouted. The answer came in the form of metal rods flying through space. They were moving very fast. They hit the first alien ship and went right through its shields. The shields were designed to stop energy weapons, not solid objects. The alien ship shook and sparked. Its weapons stopped working. "How are they hitting?" "You?" an alien officer asked. "We cannot even see them." The Wolverine opened its doors. Hundreds of small drones flew out. They were no bigger than cars, but they were very smart. They could think and learn. The drones spread out in all directions. They did not fly in straight lines. Instead, they moved in crazy patterns that the aliens could not predict. "What are those things?" Krektor asked. The drones started attacking the alien ships. They used small nuclear bombs and metal bullets. The aliens tried to shoot them down, but there were too many. Every time they destroyed one drone, two more appeared. "This is impossible," said an alien officer. "How can such small things fight so well?" The drones were learning. They watched how the aliens fought. They learned where the alien weapons were. They learned how to avoid getting hit. They got better at fighting every second. Meanwhile, the Reaper was moving. It did not look fast, but suddenly it was right next to an alien ship. The aliens did not understand how it moved so quickly. "Fire all weapons," Krektor ordered. The alien energy weapons hit the Reaper. But instead of destroying it, the energy just disappeared. The human ship had special armor that absorbed energy weapons. "Our weapons are not working," an alien officer screamed. The Reaper fired back, but it did not use energy weapons. It used metal bullets that were moving almost as fast as light. The bullets went through the alien shields like they were not even there. The alien ship exploded. "This is not possible," Krektor said. "Their weapons are primitive. Their ships are weak. How are they winning?" The Phantom appeared next to another alien ship. It had been invisible the whole time, moving around the battlefield. The aliens never knew where it was. The Phantom fired tungsten rods. Tungsten is a very hard metal. When it hits something while moving fast, it causes massive damage. The alien ship broke apart. "Retreat," Krektor ordered. All ships retreat, but it was too late. The human drones had surrounded the alien ships. There was no way to escape. The Wolverine moved in for the final attack. Its drones had learned everything about alien ship designs. They knew exactly where to hit to cause the most damage. One by one, the alien ships stopped working. Their weapons went silent. Their shields failed. Their engines died in just 12 minutes. All 6 alien ships were defeated. The human ships had barely been damaged. The aliens watching from far away could not believe what they had seen. The humans had won easily. How? Chairman Vex asked. How did they win so quickly? Jake's voice came over the radio. We told you. That Earth taught us many lessons. We learned that fighting is not about having the biggest weapons. It is about using your brain. But your weapons are primitive, an alien said. No, Jake said. Our weapons are simple. There is a difference. Simple things work. Complex things break. Tony Blake spoke from the Wolverine. Your shields stop energy weapons. But they do not stop solid objects. We use solid objects. Karen. Hayes added, your ships fight in lines because that is how you have always fought. We fight in ways that you do not expect. The aliens were quiet. They had been so sure that humans were weak. They had been so sure that energy weapons were better than metal bullets. They had been wrong about everything. We underestimated you. Craigter said. His voice was sad. Yes, you did, Ryan Carter said. But that is okay. Everyone makes mistakes. The aliens started to understand. Humans were not weak. They were different. They fought in ways that the aliens had never seen before. We want to learn more about human fighting methods, Sharon Vex said. We would be happy to teach you, Jake said. But first, we need to talk about that alliance membership. The aliens looked at each other. These humans had just defeated 6 of their ships with only 3 ships. Maybe the humans were not so weak after all. We will discuss it, Chairman Vex said, but Jake knew they would do more than discuss it. The aliens were scared now. They had seen what humans could do. They would. Never underestimate humans again. News of the human victory spread across the galaxy very quickly. Every alien race was talking about it. How had 3 small human ships defeated 6 advanced alien warships so easily? Emergency meetings were called on every planet. Military leaders wanted answers. They wanted to know how humans had won. They wanted to know if their own fleets were in danger. General Frank Miller was invited to speak at the biggest military meeting in the galaxy. Frank was an old soldier. His hair was gray, and his face had many scars. He had fought in wars on Earth for most of his life. The meeting room was full of the toughest military leaders from every alien race. These were not diplomats or politicians. These were soldiers who had spent their lives fighting. General Miller, said Commander Vexal, we need to understand what happened. Your ships should not have been able to defeat ours. Our technology is thousands of years ahead of yours. Frank stood up slowly. His uniform was simple and clean. He did not wear fancy medals like the alien officers did. You want to know our secret? Frank asked. I will tell you. While your races were exploring space and making friends, humans were learning how to kill each other. The room became very quiet. The aliens looked uncomfortable. For 10,000 years, humans have been fighting wars, Frank continued. We started with rocks and sticks. Then we learned to use bronze and iron. We made gunpowder and cannons. We split atoms and made nuclear weapons. Admiral Sue Carter stood up next to Frank. She was the best naval commander that Earth had ever produced. She had won battles that everyone said were impossible to win. Every weapon we used against you came from thousands of years of fighting, Sue said. Our kinetic weapons are not primitive. They are perfect. We have been making them better for centuries. A holographic display showed the history of human warfare. The aliens watched as humans fought with swords, then guns, then tanks, then missiles. Look. At this, Sue said, pointing to images of ancient battles. Humans in ancient times learned to fight in groups. They learned to use shields and spears together. They learned that tactics matter more than individual strength. The display showed more battles. medieval sieges where humans used catapults and battering rams, naval battles where humans used wind and currents to defeat larger fleets. We learned that the best weapon is not always the biggest weapon, Frank said. Sometimes a small weapon used in the right way can defeat a large weapon. Used in the wrong way. Colonel Pete Jackson joined them. He was an expert in guerrilla warfare. He had fought in jungles and deserts and cities. Your species developed energy weapons and thought you were advanced, Pete said. But you never learned to think like your enemy. You never had to adapt or die. The aliens were starting to understand. Humans had not just developed weapons. They had developed the art of war itself. But your weapons should not work against our shields, said an Xari commander. Our shields can stop any energy weapon. Commander Rachel Ford smiled. She was the chief engineer of the human fleet. She knew everything about how weapons worked. Your shields stop energy weapons because that is what you designed them to stop, Rachel said. But kinetic energy does not care about your shield frequency. A piece of metal moving fast enough will go through any shield. The aliens looked at each other nervously. They had built all their defenses around stopping energy weapons. They had never thought about simple metal bullets. Newton's laws do not negotiate, Rachel continued. Force equals mass times acceleration. If we make something heavy enough and fast enough, it will go through anything. Frank stepped forward again. You made a mistake that many of Earth's armies made. You fought the last war, not the next war. You prepared for enemies who would fight. Like you, we prepared for enemies who would use the same weapons as us, Sue added. But humans never fight fair. We fight to win. The display changed to show modern human military tactics. The aliens watched as small human forces defeated much larger forces by using surprise, speed, and clever tactics. This is called asymmetric warfare, Pete explained. When you are smaller and weaker than your enemy, you do not fight them directly. You hit them where they are weak. You attack when they do not expect it. An alien officer with 4 arms spoke up. But why do humans fight so much? Why do you not make peace like civilized races? Frank's face became hard, because peace is not free. Someone has to be ready to fight to protect it. On Earth, we learned that there is always someone who wants to take what you have. Every human child learns the story of the Roman Empire. Sue said, they thought they were the strongest military in the world. They thought no one could defeat them. But they got soft. They stopped training. They stopped fighting. And then barbarians with simple weapons conquered them. The aliens were beginning to understand something important. Humans did not fight because they were savage. They fought because they had learned that the universe was dangerous. We do not enjoy war, Frank said, but we are very good at it. We have had to be. The display showed human battles from World War II. The aliens watched as humans fought with incredible determination, never giving up even when they were losing. This is what we call total war, Pete said. When humans fight, we use everything we have. We use our factories to make weapons. We use our farms to feed soldiers. We use our smartest people to invent new ways to fight. Your species fights with armies, Rachel said. Humans fight with entire civilizations. Every human is a soldier when they need to be. The aliens were becoming more and more nervous. They had thought humans were weak because they were small. Now they realized that humans were dangerous because they were prepared. So when you attacked our ships, said Commander Thexal, you were ready for us. We have been ready for you since the day we left Earth, Frank said. We knew we would meet other races in space. We knew some of them might be hostile, so we prepared. Sue activated another display. It showed human shipyards hidden throughout the solar system. Thousands of workers were building warships. We did not come to the galactic community with our entire fleet, Sue said. We sent our diplomats and our most visible ships. The rest of our forces remained hidden. The aliens stared at the display in shock. There were hundreds of human ships under construction. Battle cruisers, destroyers, carriers, and ships they did not recognize. "How many ships do you have?" asked an alien general. "Enough," Frank said simply. The truth was becoming clear. Humans had not just built a few ships to explore space. They had built a war fleet. They had been preparing for conflict from the very beginning. "We hoped we would find friends in space," Frank continued, "but we prepared to find enemies." The meeting room was very quiet. The alien military leaders were thinking hard. They had completely misjudged humanity. "What do you want from us?" asked Commander Thexal. "We want to be your allies," Frank said. "We want to help you defend the galaxy, but we will not be underestimated again." The aliens looked at each other. They had a choice to make. They could try to fight the humans, or they could learn from them. "We would like to learn your methods," said the Nexari commander. "We would be happy to teach you," Frank said. "But remember this. Human methods come from human history. We fight the way we do because we have learned that sometimes you have to fight to survive." The aliens nodded slowly. They were beginning to understand that humans were not just another species. They were warriors who had been forged by 10,000 years of conflict. And now those warriors were in space. 3 months passed after the human military demonstration. The galaxy was slowly accepting that humans were not as weak as they had thought. Some alien races were even asking for human military advice. Then the emergency alarm started ringing. Long-range sensors had detected something terrible. Ancient machines were waking up from their long sleep. They were called the Devourers, and they were moving toward inhabited systems. Chairman Vex called an emergency meeting. Every military leader in the galaxy was there. The mood was very different from the last time they had gathered. "The situation is worse than we thought," Chairman Vex said. His 3 eyes looked tired and scared. "The Devourers are not just awake. They are moving. They are coming toward our space." The main screen showed what the sensors had found. 12 enormous ships were moving through space. Each ship was bigger than a moon. They were black and covered with weapons. "We have never seen ships this large," said Admiral Krechter. "Our biggest ships are like toys compared to these." Behind the 12 large ships were thousands of smaller ships. But even the smaller ships were bigger than most alien battleships. "How many ships are there?" asked Commander Thexal. "Our best estimate is 50,000 ships," said the intelligence officer. "They are all armed with weapons we do not understand." The room fell silent. The combined alien fleets had about 12,000 ships. The Devourers outnumbered them by more than 4 to 1. "What do we know about these Devourers?" asked Jake Morrison. He had been quiet until now. "They are ancient machines," said a scientist. "They were built millions of years ago. They were designed to destroy all organic life in the galaxy." "Why? Are they awake now?" asked Admiral Sue Carter. "We think our radio signals woke them up," the scientist said. "They have been sleeping for so long that they forgot about us. But now they know we are here." The screen showed recordings of what happened when the Devourers reached inhabited systems. Entire planets were destroyed. Billions of people died in minutes. "They do not negotiate," the scientist continued. "They do not take prisoners. They simply destroy everything that lives." Admiral Krechter stood up. "Our combined fleets have about 12,000 ships. We can fight them. Our computer models show we have a 15% chance of winning," said the intelligence officer. "That is not very good odds." The alien leaders looked at each other. They were scared. They had never faced an enemy this powerful. "We need to evacuate the outer colonies," said Commander Vexal. "We need to save as many people as possible." "There is no time," said Chairman Vex. "The Devourers will be here in 2 weeks. We cannot evacuate entire planets in 2 weeks." Jake Morrison stood up. "Humanity offers its full military support." Some of the aliens looked grateful. Others looked skeptical. Humans had proven they could fight, but this was different. This was bigger than anything they had faced before. "With respect, Ambassador Morrison," said a Vortakian general, "your ships are good, but you only have a few of them. How can a few human ships change the outcome of this battle?" Jake smiled. "Who said anything about a few ships?" The main screen changed. Instead of showing the approaching Devourers, it showed something else. Hundreds of human ships were floating in space near Jupiter. "This is Admiral Karen Hayes of the Terran Defense Fleet," came a voice from the speakers. "We have 1,200 ships ready for combat. We also have some surprises." The aliens stared at the screen in shock. There were more human ships than they had ever imagined. Big ships, small ships, ships they had never seen before. "How?" whispered the Nexari commander. "How do you have so many ships?" Colonel Ryan Carter stepped forward. "Did you think we came to the galaxy with our entire fleet? We showed you 3 ships. We have been building the rest in secret." Admiral Karen Hayes appeared on the screen. She was standing on the bridge of a massive ship. Through the windows behind her, the aliens could see hundreds of other ships. "We have been preparing for this day since we first left Earth," Karen said. "We knew that space would be dangerous. We knew that we might face enemies we could not. Imagine." The display changed to show human colonies throughout the solar system. Every colony had hidden shipyards. Every space station had weapon factories. "We hoped we would find friends in space," Karen continued, "but we prepared to fight enemies." General Frank Miller joined Jake at the front of the room. "On Earth, we have a saying: hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Right now, the worst is coming." The aliens were beginning to understand. Humans had not just built a few ships to explore space. They had built an entire war machine. "Your ships are impressive," said Admiral Krechter, "but the Devourers have 50,000 ships. You have 1,200 ships. The numbers are still against us." "Numbers are not everything," said Admiral Sue Carter. "We have something the Devourers do not have." "What is that?" asked Chairman Vex. "We can think," Sue said. "The Devourers are machines. They are very old machines. They fight the same way they fought millions of years ago." Colonel Pete Jackson stepped forward. "Machines follow patterns. They do the same thing over and over. Humans adapt. We change our tactics during the battle." The screen changed to show human battle formations. The aliens noticed that the human ships were not arranged like normal fleets. They were scattered and spread out. "We do not fight in formations," Pete explained. "We fight in what we call wolf packs, small groups of ships that work together. Each group can act independently," added Karen Hayes. "If one group is destroyed, the others keep fighting. If the enemy attacks one group, the others can attack from behind." The aliens were starting to see the plan. Humans did not fight like other races. They fought like predators. "We also have weapons that the Devourers have never seen," said Commander Rachel Ford. "We have been developing them specifically for this kind of battle." The screen showed new human weapons, missiles that could think for themselves, drones that could learn and adapt, weapons that used gravity and black holes. "The Devourers expect us to fight like the races they fought millions of years ago," Rachel said. "They expect energy weapons and large formations. They do not expect human tactics." Admiral Krechter was looking at the human fleet with new eyes. "You have been planning this for a long time." "We have been planning for war since we first looked at the stars," Frank said. Every human knows that the universe is dangerous. Every human knows that someone has to be ready to fight. Jake Morrison looked around the room. We are not asking you to follow us. We are asking you to fight with us. Together, we can defeat the Devourers. What do you need from us? Asked Chairman Vex. We need you to trust us, Jake said. We need you to let us coordinate the battle. We need you to fight the way humans fight. The alien leaders looked at each other. They had spent months learning not to underestimate humans. Now they had to trust humans with their lives. If we do this, said Commander Vexal, and if we lose, every living thing in the galaxy will die. If we do not do this, Jake said, every living thing in the galaxy will die anyway. The vote was close, but the aliens agreed. They would follow human battle plans. They would fight alongside the human fleet. As the meeting ended, Admiral Kyron Hayes had one more thing to say. The Devourers think they are fighting the same organic races they defeated millions of years ago, she said. They do not know that humans are here now. They do not know what humans can do when we fight for our home. The aliens left the meeting with a new feeling. For the first time since the Devourers had been detected, they felt hope. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when humans were truly threatened. The galaxy was about to see the full power of human military might, and the Devourers were about to learn why underestimating humans was the last mistake they would ever make. The Devourers arrived at the Kepler system like a dark storm. Their massive ships blotted out the stars. The smaller ships swarmed around them like angry insects. Admiral Steve Parker stood on the bridge of the USS Normandy. He was the overall commander of the human fleet. His ship was hidden behind an asteroid, along with hundreds of other human vessels. All ships, this is Admiral Parker, he said into his communicator. Remember, we have been preparing for this. Fight our entire lives. Every war, every battle, every lesson learned on Earth has led to this moment. The alien fleets were arranged in traditional battle formations. Long lines of ships with their biggest weapons pointed forward. It was how they had always fought. The Devourers moved toward them in perfect formation. Their ships were huge and black. They had been fighting the same way for millions of years. Enemy fleet is in range, reported the sensor officer. They are. Maintaining standard attack formation. Admiral Parker smiled. Of course they are. They are machines. They do not know how to improvise. The first phase of the battle began. The alien fleets fired their energy weapons. Bright beams of light shot across space toward the Devourer ships. The Devourers fired back. Their weapons were more powerful than anything the aliens had ever seen. Several alien ships exploded immediately. Phase 1 complete, Admiral Parker said. The Devourers are focused on the main fleet. All human ships begin Phase 2. The human ships had been waiting silently behind asteroids and moons. Now they began to move. But they did not move like a normal fleet. They moved like hunters. Captain Mary Thompson commanded the USS Stalingrad. Her ship was leading a group of 20 human vessels. They approached the Devourers from the side. Remember, Mary said to her crew, we are not here to fight fair. We are here to win. The human ships opened fire, but they did not use energy weapons. They used kinetic weapons. Metal rods moving at incredible speeds slammed into the Devourer ships. Enemy ships are firing solid projectiles, reported a Devourer. Machine intelligence. This is not in our combat database. The Devourers had shields designed to stop energy weapons, but the metal rods went right through the shields. The ancient machines had never faced this kind of attack. Shields are ineffective against kinetic projectiles, the Devourer computer said, recalibrating defense systems. But while the Devourers were trying to figure out how to stop the metal rods, more human ships attacked from different directions. Captain Tony Blake brought the USS Wolverine in from behind the Devourer fleet. His ship released thousands of small drones. Each drone was smart and could learn. "Release the swarm," Tony ordered. The drones spread out in all directions. They did not fly in straight lines. They moved in crazy patterns that the Devourers could not predict. "Multiple small targets detected," reported another Devourer ship. Unable to establish target priority, the drones were too small and too fast for the big Devourer weapons. But the drones carried nuclear warheads. They flew into the Devourer ships and exploded. Admiral Karen Hayes commanded the USS Phantom. Her ship was invisible to all sensors. She moved through the battlefield like a ghost. "Target the command ship," Karen ordered. "Take out their leader." The Phantom fired tungsten rods at the largest Devourer ship. The rods punched through the hull like it was made of paper. The command ship began to lose power. "Command vessel is damaged," the Devourer fleet reported. "Central coordination is compromised." This was exactly what the humans had planned. The Devourers were machines. Without their central command, they could not coordinate their attacks, but the humans had. Their biggest surprise still waiting. The USS Ragnarok appeared at the edge of the battlefield. It was a ship so secret that most humans did not know it existed. It was commanded by Admiral Janet Cruz. "This is Admiral Cruz," she said over the radio. "All friendly ships, clear the target zone. We are activating Project Odin." The aliens did not know what Project Odin was. Even most humans did not know. But the Devourers were about to find out. The Ragnarok fired a single weapon. It looked like a small black sphere. But when it reached the Devourer fleet, it began to grow. "Gravitational anomaly detected," the Devourer sensors reported. "Unknown weapon type." The black sphere was an artificial black hole. Human scientists had learned to create tiny black holes and use them as weapons. The largest Devourer ship was caught in the black hole's gravity. The ship began to stretch and break apart. In seconds, a ship 3 kilometers long simply disappeared. "Impossible," the Devourer fleet commander said. "No organic race has this technology." But the humans were just getting started. More human ships appeared from their hiding places. Each group used different tactics. Some used stealth. Others used swarms of drones. Still others used weapons that bent space and time. The Devourers had fought organic races before, but they had never fought humans. They had never faced an enemy that used every possible advantage. "Enemy tactics are unpredictable," the Devourer computer reported, unable to formulate counter-strategy. Captain Sam Wilson brought his ship close to a damaged Devourer vessel. Instead of destroying it, he deployed boarding parties. "Human soldiers detected inside hull," the Devourer ship reported. "Interior defenses activated." But the human soldiers were not normal soldiers. They were space marines who had trained for this exact situation. They moved through the Devourer ship like they owned it. "Plant the charges," ordered Sergeant Bill Murphy. His team moved quickly through the alien corridors. The humans placed nuclear bombs inside the Devourer ship. Then they escaped in small shuttles. The ship exploded from the inside. "We are taking casualties at an unacceptable rate," the Devourer fleet commander reported. "Recommend strategic withdrawal." But Admiral Parker was not going to let them escape. "All ships pursue the enemy," he ordered. "Do not let any of them get away." The human ships chased the fleeing Devourers. They used their speed and agility to catch the larger ships. One by one, the Devourer vessels were destroyed. The battle lasted 18 hours. When it was over, the entire Devourer fleet had been destroyed. The humans had lost only 40 ships. The alien fleets watched in amazement. They had expected to die fighting the Devourers. Instead, They had watched humans destroy an enemy that had seemed invincible. "How?" asked Admiral Crichter. "Over the radio." "How did you defeat them so easily?" Admiral Parker answered from the bridge of the Normandy. "We did not defeat them easily. We defeated them intelligently." "The Devourers were powerful," added Admiral Karen Hayes. "But they were predictable. They fought the same way for millions of years. We fought in ways they had never seen." Jake Morrison spoke from the diplomatic ship. "The Devourers made the same mistake that many enemies have made throughout human history. They underestimated us. In the days that followed, rescue ships searched for survivors. The galaxy began to understand what had happened. Humans had not just won a battle. They had saved every living thing in the galaxy. The Galactic Council held a special meeting. This time, there was no laughter when Jake Morrison entered the room. The aliens stood up to honor him. "Humanity has proven itself," Charon next said. "You have saved us all." "We did not do it alone," Jake said. "We fought together. That is how humans prefer to fight, with allies and friends." But everyone knew the truth. Without humans, the galaxy would have been destroyed. The other races had good ships and brave soldiers. But only humans had the knowledge and experience to defeat an enemy like the DEVOURERS. General Frank Miller was invited to reorganize the Galactic Defense Force. He accepted, but with conditions. "We will share our knowledge," Frank said. "We will teach you our tactics. But you must understand something. War is not a game. It is not about honor or glory. It is about survival." The aliens agreed. They wanted to learn everything humans could teach them. Admiral Sue Carter established the first Galactic Military Academy. Alien officers came from across the galaxy to learn human fighting methods. "The most important lesson," Sue told her first class, "is that your enemy gets a vote. No plan survives contact with the enemy. You must be ready to adapt." 6 months later, the galaxy was a different place. The Galactic Defense Force was reorganized under human leadership. New weapons based on human designs were being built. Most importantly, the galaxy was united in a way it had never been before. In a cantina on a space station near Earth, alien soldiers bought drinks for human Marines. They told stories about the battle against the Devourers. "I still cannot believe it," said an Exari pilot. 12 of their biggest ships, 50,000 smaller ships, all destroyed. "The humans made it look easy," said a Vortakian gunner. An old human sergeant smiled. "It was not easy. But we had something the Devourers did not have." "What was that?" asked the aliens. "We had something worth fighting for," the sergeant said. "We were not just fighting for ourselves. We were fighting for our friends. We were fighting for our home." The aliens nodded. They understood now. Humans were not just good at fighting because they had good weapons or smart tactics. They were good at fighting because they cared about something bigger than themselves. Ambassador Jake Morrison returned to Earth for a short visit. He stood in a field where his grandfather had once farmed. The stars were visible in the clear night sky. "We did it, Grandpa," Jake said quietly. "We made it to the stars, and we made friends out there." His communication dev